أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you all to another English Studies class from CTY Model College, Ibadan. I am Hassana Sulaiman. Our topic for today, as you can see on your screen, is on spoken English. And the topic is statements and answer tags. What do I call it? Statements and answer tags. Our reference material is NOSIC for Junior Secondary Schools 1 by Ayobanjo et al., published by University Press PLC, pages 185 to 186. To start with, in order to make statements or ask questions, we have to use the correct intonation tunes. So what are intonation tunes? Intonation is the way the pitch of your voice goes up and down as you talk or recite something, which means when you speak, at a point your voice goes up and at another point your voice goes down. The rise and falling of your voice is what is known as intonation tunes. Note that the intonation on the first part of a statement often determines the expected answer or answer tags. That is, the intonation on the first part of the statement always determines the expected answer or answer tags. Now let's look at this. When a statement is made a fact, that is, the speaker is sure or seems sure of what he's saying. That is, when the speaker is sure of what he's saying or he has made a statement of fact, he uses the falling tone in the statement, while he uses the rising tone on his question. That is, when you make a statement of fact, you have the falling tone in the statement and you have the rising tone in the question. In this case, it's expecting yes as an answer. For example, the sun rises in the east. Doesn't it? You can see there is an arrow down after the sun rises in the east. Arrow down indicates falling tune, just like when something or someone falls down, while arrow up indicates rising tune, just like when somebody looks up. Okay, so let's take it again. The sun rises in the east. Doesn't it? That's a rising tune. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's the answer. The answer also have falling tune. Do you get it now? Yes. Let's take another one. You kept the goal in the match you played yesterday. Didn't you? Yes, I did. You can see the statement as a falling tune. The question, didn't you, has a rising tune. And the answer has falling tune. Yes, I did. But the answer may not always be yes. It may be no. Still, the answer will be given on falling tune. That is, either the answer is yes or no. The answer would always have a falling tune. Now let's take it like this. You kept the goal in the match you played yesterday. Didn't you? The statement takes a falling tune while the question takes a rising tune. Now let's look at the answer. Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Yes, I did. That's yes takes falling tune. I did takes rising tune. But no, I didn't. Both no and I didn't takes a falling tune. They both take falling tune. Also, a statement can be in the negative form, and the answer expected may be negative. For example, you were not in school yesterday. This is a very good example of a negative statement. What makes a statement to be negative? Who can tell me? Anybody in the class? Yes, Abdurrahman. What do you notice in this statement compared to the previous statements we have been treating? What makes it differ? Yes, mashallah, Alima. Yes, the presence of not. Always, the presence of not or no always makes a statement a negative statement. And you notice that the previous statements we have treated doesn't have not or no, which means the previous ones we have treated are positive statement, while this one is a negative statement. You were not in school yesterday. That's a falling tune. Were you? That's a rising tune. Do you get it now? I want you to take note of something here. Either the statement is negative or positive, it takes a falling tune. However, either the question is positive or negative, the question tag takes a rising tune. That's point number one. Another thing I want you to take note of in this is that a positive statement, like you kept the goal in the match you played yesterday, a positive statement always takes a negative question tag. Just like when you have it in your mathematics, plus times minus. So when you have a positive statement, you have a negative question tag. But when you have a negative statement like this, you were not in school yesterday, you're going to have a positive question tag. Were you? Minus times plus. Do you get what I'm saying now? So when you have a positive statement, you have a negative question tag. And when you have a negative statement, you have a positive question tag. Now, you were not in school yesterday, were you? No, I wasn't. That's a falling tune. Or yes, I was. That's also a falling tune. This is not your book. This is another negative statement. Is it a positive question tag? No, it isn't. That's negative and that's a falling tune. Or yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's a falling tune as well. Tolu is a habitual late comer. That's also a negative comment about somebody. Tolu is a habitual late comer. Falling tune. Is he? Is he? That's rising tune. No, he is not. Or yes, he is. You are not a troublesome boy, are you? You are not a troublesome boy. That's a falling tune. Are you? That's a rising tune. No, I'm not. I want you to be careful of something here. When a statement comes in a negative form, that does not mean when you mean to say no, you say yes. For example, in this very example now, you are not a troublesome boy. Are you? If somebody asks you this type of question, do not say yes, I am not. Yes always go with positive and no always go with negative. Yes, I am. That is, yes, I am troublesome. If you say yes, it means you admit that you are a troublesome boy. And if you say no, it means you are not a troublesome boy. Remember this very little song that says, Wherever you go, wherever you are, do not say yes when you mean to say no. So this is a very good example where somebody can easily say no, can easily say yes when the person means to say no. If somebody say, "Are you a troublesome girl? Are you? Are you a troublesome girl?" Somebody might say, "Yes, I'm not." That is a very wrong answer. You say, "Yes, I am," or "No, I'm not." So when you say yes, it means you admit that you are a troublesome boy or a troublesome girl. And if you say no, it means you are not a troublesome boy or girl. Do you get it now? So always listen very well and do not say yes when you mean to say no. Know that no will always go with negative. Have you eaten this morning? Yes, I have. Or no, I have not. So yes will always go with positive, while no will always go with negative. And I told you, how do you know a negative statement? The presence of not or no. Now let's look at this statement. There are 10 bungalows on this street. You can't buy sugar, milk, and tea in the market. I can't find my Bible. Ahmed walked past the post office. This term is nearly ended. Note that all the sentences in the above are statements. All the statements under D, they are all statements, and they all have falling tune. You can see the arrow down on all the statements. So it means all statements takes falling tune. And you can see that there is an arrow before the last word. So the arrow pointing down is indicating a falling tune. Now let's look at these questions. Will you come later today? Will you come later today? Did you win in the last election? Were you all late to the school this morning? How old are you? Which color do you prefer? Who is the captain of the Super Eagles? Can you notice something in this example? This example, Roman figure 1, 2, 3, all have rising tune, while Roman figure 4, 5, and 6, they all have falling tune. What can you get from this? Now let's read further. Note that there are two types of questions in English. That is, in English, we have two types of questions. The first one are called yes or no questions. That is, questions that you can answer with either yes or no. So let's consider the first three examples here. Will you come late today? You can either say yes or no. Did you win in the last election? Yes or no. That's the answer. Were they all late to the school this morning? So you can either say yes or no. So all these three examples are called yes or no question. But look at this one. How old are you? Can you answer this with a yes or no? Absolutely no. So which means the first three examples are examples of yes or no questions. These questions you can answer with a yes or no. The other ones are called WH questions. What do I call it? WH questions. That is, these are questions that requires a statement as answer. That is, you cannot answer them with yes or no. For example, how old are you? You cannot answer yes, no. You have to answer it with a statement. How old are you? I am 10 years old. So that is a statement. So questions that you can answer with statement are called WH questions. Which color do you prefer? You can answer you to the statement by saying, I prefer color pink. Who is the captain of Super Eagles? You have to answer this with a statement. For example, you can say, the captain of Super Eagles is Joseph Yobo. So these are questions that demand answer, that demand statement as an answer. So what I want you to note here is that yes or no questions usually have rising tune. Just like you can see, will you come late today? Did you win in the last election? Were they all late to the school this morning? While WH questions usually have falling tune. WH questions usually begin with what, where, why, which, when, how. These are WH questions, and they usually have statement as answer. Is that taken? MashaAllah. Can we briefly summarize it one more time? I told you from the beginning that the intonation on the statement usually determines the answer or the answer tag. So I started by telling you that when you make a statement of fact, then your statement will have a falling tune, while your question will have a rising tune. The sun rises in the east is a statement of fact. It's not debatable. Everybody knows this. The sun rises in the east, doesn't it? Then we say that a statement can be in negative form. And I told you what's the negative statement. A negative statement is when you have NOT on NO in that statement. So this makes it a negative statement. You were not in school yesterday. You still have falling tune. Were you? Here you still have rising tune in your question tag. Were you? I also made you to understand that when you have a negative statement, you're going to have a positive question tag. And when you have a positive statement, you're going to have a negative question tag. Just like when you have this, you kept the goal in the match you played yesterday. This is a positive statement. Didn't you? Is a negative question tag. You were not in school yesterday. This is a negative statement. Were you? And this is a positive statement. I went further to let you know that when you have a negative statement and you want to answer, do not say yes when you mean to say no. For instance, if somebody say, were you not in school yesterday? If you are in school, you say, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. So do not say yes when you mean to say no. Finally, I made you to understand that all statements are usually with falling tune, be it negative or positive statements. However, their question tag usually have a rising tune. I made you to understand that generally in English, there are two types of questions. We have the first one to be yes or no questions. That is questions that require a yes or no as answer. For example, will you come late tomorrow? Or will you come late today? You can say yes or no. You didn't win in the last election? You can either say yes or no. And the second one is WH questions. These are questions that require statements as answer. That is, you cannot answer WH questions with yes or no. You have to construct a statement. For instance, how old are you? Can I say yes or no? So you need to answer it with a statement. I am 10 years old. I also make it to understand that all yes or no questions usually have rising tune, while all WH questions usually have falling tune. Until next class that I will still come your way, do copy this note in your notebook and proceed to take your assignment on the school portal. I will implore you all to stay home and stay safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.